This is the Simpit. I'm Andreas Martin Mørk. Welcome to Project Sim Racer. Having had a very constructive session with Sean the night before, despite my pedal issues, I felt a lot better about the week on day 2, even after all the delays. I skipped my optional exercise and focused on fixing my pedals and getting back on schedule instead. So let's see how that went.
Look at that. Practice makes perfect.
Alright, so we're already at day 2 of the 7-day sim camp. We were struck by delays yesterday, as you saw, with the pedals, which meant that I didn't really get to do a whole lot of work on the Star Master car, as much as I would have wanted to anyway. But in the evening I had a very good session with Sean, where we got some good things going with that setup, and frankly I'd be quite happy to just race with that the whole week. But of course we're not just gonna stop there, we're gonna keep working on it and see if we can get even more out of it. So I can't wait to talk to the STC guys and get them to help out. Right now I was supposed to do some max interval training today. But Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday are optional training days. So if I am behind schedule, I can skip those days without it hurting my fitness or anything. So I might skip that one because we are behind and I still need to edit that video, which is episode 6, I think. Right now I'm just recording the in-game footage for that one. So while that's recording, I think I'll get some chores done. I need to clean up a bit more in the basement here for it to be a nice environment to race in. And I'll try and fix the pedals again because the issue is still there. But a few of the guys from the team have told me how to fix it, so hopefully that works. So yeah, I'll be back to do a full race simulation in the Star Master later today, and hopefully I'll get some laps in the Skippy as well. Being a little lazy and discouraged by the fact that the method to fix them was a very tedious one that required a lot of fiddling around, I decided to look for other alternatives before diving in. At that point I remembered something called contact spray, which I thought might actually be able to fix the issue, but with half the hassle. So as you can see, I've set up my temporary workbench again, and will now try to fix these pedals for the second time. As I said, some of the guys from the team have had the same issue and have told me how to fix it, but that requires taking a whole lot of things apart from this pedal set. So what instead I did is I went out and got some contact spray, contact cleaning, whatever it's called. One of these is supposed to be like a 2-in-1 solution that both dissolves and cleans the electric parts, and then this one should protect it for the future. So we'll see if those work first, because well, it would be quite a hassle to open it all up and clean it that way. So hopefully it works and we can save ourselves some time. Alright, so we got these pots right here. Those are the ones we want to clean. If this was to be done without this contact spray, we'd need to disconnect these cables, clean them out, I think. So that's going to be a lot more work. So we'll just try the spray now and see if that helps. Hopefully it does. I better read all the warnings first. Okay, so surprisingly we can't inhale this. So we shouldn't do that, and the ventilation down here in the basement isn't all that good, so I think I'll go outside and do this. Right, so we're out here in the in the sun. We'll try to spray some of this stuff on. Let's see what happens. We've got the spray here. Let's try. Okay, quite a lot coming out of it. Interesting. Okay, so I think I've given it way more than enough. So it'll just take 15 minutes for it to all dry up, and then we'll come back and put some protection on it, and then we'll take it back in and dry it out. As it said on the can, it dried up very quickly, so I quickly plugged them into the PC before assembling it again to make sure it had solved the issue. And to my surprise, it had. Now, I realize now that this is actually a very common method of fixing this issue, but it made me feel like an engineer for like 5 minutes, so let me have this. Anyway, seeing as they were fixed, I thought, you know, let's just put the protection coating on as well before putting everything back together. Okay, so I've been away for about 15 minutes and it looks like it's all dried up now. So we'll try to put this Electro Protect on it to hopefully make sure we don't have these problems anytime soon again. Okay, let's go. Okay, we'll let that dry for a few minutes and then we'll go back in. But I didn't check the can this time. Alright, so it's been an hour and a half now and still not completely dry. I don't want to reconnect it while it's still actually physically wet, so I think I'll leave it out for a bit more, and I'll try and see how much work I can get done without the pedals. It won't be a whole lot, but I can watch some replays and collect some setups and whatnot. That's about it I can do for now. Hopefully they will dry very soon so I can get back to racing. 9 hours on, it was still wet, so I went to bed having, on the bright side, spent the time productively, but on mostly non-racing related things. I barely even fired up the sim that day. Disappointing. But that brings us to day 3, where the pedals were finally dry and I could resume the schedule as normal. But being so far behind, I decided to push the second obligatory exercise of the week forward to Thursday to catch back up. Now, unfortunately, I'm not living a completely isolated life in my basement here, although I'm sure my parents would have a word or two to say about that statement. So some unexpected things got in the way, and when I finally got back home, all I had time for was one race simulation in the Star Master. So I'd better make the most of it then, right? I just went for a full race simulation in the Star Master after finally being able to run with fixed pedals again. That's awesome. But I only managed to do like 15 laps before I crashed, which kind of sucks. Kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Because I wanted to test out, I was just by myself, I wanted to test out tire wear and such, and it went pretty horribly, to be honest. I had a fairly sketchy first few laps, but then I kind of settled into to a rhythm, as you can see here, from lap 4 and down to lap 9. It was all going very well, very consistent. And then I made a small mistake lap 10 that cost me about 7 seconds. But then I got into a good rhythm again. I actually did some very, very good laps here until I finally crash. That was completely unnecessary, to be honest. I just I knew I shouldn't have turned on the delta thing, because I could see that I was about a tenth up on my optimal, which meant that if I kept that up, I would have run a 13.4, which puts me right up there with very fast guys. It's so tempting to finally go for it when you're so close, but I shouldn't. That's not what I was here for. So that was a stupid mistake. So yeah, tomorrow I'll go swimming in the morning, and then I'll do some races. Hopefully I'll finally get to grips with the Skippy at Road America. I'm not really liking that track and car combination. But you know, you gotta make your weaknesses into your strengths. So we'll push through it, of course. Yeah, not exactly the 3 dedicated sim racing days I'd planned for. At this point I'd only gotten about 3 hours in the sim in total, so I was way behind schedule. But with 4 days to go, the tide could still turn, so make sure you check back in a few days for the next 7-day sim camp video. Also, if you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them here on YouTube, or even better, on our website, where I will try my best to get back to everyone. This has been the Simpit. I'm Andreas Martin Mørk. Thanks for watching Project Sim Racer.